3, 2, 1, go!
Come on. Hello, I am one half of your Lone Lobos hosts. I am the salubrious half, Jacob Scott Thomas Bertrand. Sitting next to me is my beloved co-host,
Xolo Maridueña. I am the other half, but today the third.
Oh, we're in thirds today. That's right.
I will call myself the soon-to-be
Pregnant
hippity-hoppity
third.
up host, Xolo Maridueña. And we are joined today, we are succeeded by a guest, one and only, Belissa Escobedo. Thank you so much.
Bonjour.
Can we get it? Wait, do we have an applause? Yay! Wait, can we do the other one? The
Yes,
jink clinking
bonjour.
one? That's my favorite.
Oh, yeah, that one is good.
Wait, we are welcoming Belissa Escobedo. But for those of y'all that either know or don't know, Belissa is a Los Angeles native from the area, from the 323, from the 213.
323.
From the 323.
Damn, Montebello,
Then-
447,
then what?
Alpine Drive. You
What?
can go-
What?
No,
What? The 909, the
I'm the
323,
909, the
and
909.
the 213.
the real
Perfect.
East LA.
Okay. Yeah, you are the real East LA.
I am the-
Claremont.
Let's go, baby. Pomona.
You can catch Belissa.
Oh, I was like, where is this going?
I know.
I did play baseball.
Yeah, yeah.
Can catch.
You might know Belissa from our new movie Blue Beetle, but you also appeared in the revival of the Hocus Pocus series,
Part 2.
Hocus Pocus Part 2,
Part 2.
and
That's
potentially
killer.
I'm hearing maybe Part 3.
You know-
maybe.
Whoa.
I've been hearing that too.
I don't know.
That's the first I heard of it.
Baker.
Oh, that's what you're like. Yeah, I've been hearing that. That's so cool.
That's so cool. I hope I'm in it.
but also the Baker and the Beauty, and also we kind of doing a little deep
I know.
dive.
I was like, whoa. you
Also
did
a slam
research.
poet.
Yeah.
Which I kind of knew before, and for the podcast, I don't even think you know this, Jacob, but Belissa and I grew up going to the same theater company in Boyle Heights.
Oh, I did not know
So it was kind of, once we both reunited at
You're
Blue
like-
Beetle, it was a little odd. Not odd, but it was surreal.
Oh, wait, you knew each other at the theater company.
We knew of each
each
other.
other.
I don't
Yeah.
think we went,
Oh,
we went to
oh.
classes at the same time, but we definitely knew of each other. And then when we
Oh,
met for the first
whoa.
time, Belissa said, "Yo," or one of
We-
us said, or
Well,
maybe
I was
even
like,
Eddie
"Casa
by the hour.
cousins." Yeah.
And
Oh, that's random.
yeah. So we go way back.
Damn, that place
Wait.
makes some good people, I guess.
Yeah.
Ma-
Makes
They
they churn them
harvest.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they.
They made
got
you,
a whole
okay?
They
Yeah.
did. They created
They,
you.
they created a monster.
And then we found out we lived down the street
That's
from each
true.
other.
And then our old house, right? She
I
lived
almost outed
2
it. Yeah, yeah.
blocks away from the older house.
I know how to drive to your house.
Same. So 2 dogs from the same kennel, Belissa and I.
Whoa,
and,
that's
Pretty
cool.
much. Yeah.
So we thought it was only natural to bring you on. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having
If you don't want to
me.
get to my house, you just hop on the 10 freeway and just head east for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
She wasn't.
Claremont
but
boy.
Thank you for.
Yeah, for sure.
Belissa is really our first guest that is being introduced to the pod, or at least between us. Like, I only know Belissa.
Yeah, I don't know.
We
Yeah.
hung out for a
Yeah.
few hours before the podcast, but with all of our other guests, we both know them extensively. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
I can't wait to ask you a lot of
Jacob-
questions.
Jacob is kind of silly when it comes to improving, and he kind of goes all wild. and
We tell her this
Wait,
before.
well, no,
we
and-
tell her
and
this
knowing
now.
that- and
so he
Belissa-
says some kind of out of pocket thing.
no, not out of pocket in that way, but
No.
I'm just saying, Belissa is light on her toes. You're light on your toes.
Oh, okay.
You didn't show up for for our research meeting, so, so I'm excited.
I had no service.
No, but you had no
I
service.
had no
Yeah, It's
service.
not that you didn't show up. You couldn't.
I
show
love
up.
that there was a research meeting. I'm terrified to know
Well,
what you
every
guys
week.
found.
We'll research you.
Every week we do like a rundown, like hour where we try to just gather our bearings. But today, that didn't happen. So that is why we have the supplements of this episode. We won't say the name of the brand. I've only ever had one in my life,
Okay.
and I got the shakes. I had to stay up late, and I was kind of falling asleep, so I downed or I didn't down it. I was like,
You drank
drinking.
it?
I drank it. And then I was sitting on the couch and I was like, oh my God. So I had to force myself to fall asleep. But because we were hanging out over the weekend, Belissa and I overheard Belissa's fun fact, or your favorite snack.
Wait.
You said, what?
I thought we were gonna shotgun him.
Well, I'm just gonna down and I'm not gonna actually shotgun it. I've never done that. I don't want to.
If I'm fucking drinking this shit, we're shotgunning him.
Oh my gosh.
Go, 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 go. Chug, 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 chug.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. That thing is
That was
so
good. That was good.
Nice.
Belissa.
carbonated.
Yep. Woo.
I need to finish mine. I got it all.
That reminds me of.
Oh, you
Grandpa
didn't
Party.
finish it?
Jacob, you didn't finish it.
That's right.
Whoa!
Get-
and
get
you were hyping
out-
up the shotgun
Get
so much.
outgunned. Oh,
You
It
got
was so-
outgunned by
it
a
was-
rookie.
It was so carbonated.
it was very carbonated. Feel free to in the pile. Perfect.
Nobody's gonna sleep tonight. I hope you guys know that.
No. the whole
Slam
point- not in the middle.
dunk.
That's not over there.
It's not in the
It's not in the
shot.
shot.
Okay, there we go. Vanderval. Here, wait. I still can't.
Oh, dude.
You can come back now. He come on.
So, Belissa, tell us
I'm
a
so-
little bit about
So,
yourself.
Do you want to burp or double it and pass it to the next one?
I can't get a good one
Nice.
right now.
If you just,
They're
I
all
could-
wet. They're all wet here.
My goal every time I have a really guttural burp is to do the oh dear lord is to
Going on?
burp. Hey, you
Off, King.
guys from the Goonies. Yeah, see, it's like that was like almost perfect. You gotta get the.
Oh, hey. This is the splash
Mine
zone over
aren't that long. They're like little pops.
Yeah. You definitely were able to do the ABCs as a kid, huh?
Oh yeah.
You're like, oh my god,
Oh,
I invented that.
I invented that.
Ooh, that was a
Oh, he can listen.
intro to yeah.
That
you
is
put,
an-
juice on Hikama. Hikama's like a little frat dog now. Like, why have you forsaken me, father?
Forsaken me?
Forsaken me.
Oh,
Why
I
have
used
you
to
forsaken me?
Forsaken me.
No,
Why
I
have
just
you
imagine
forsaken me?
Hikama is that dog that gets. I hate when they paint dogs.
Oh, that's
When they
the
fucking
worst.
put paint on dogs, I think it's so dumb.
I don't know. I like when they put mohawks on their dogs. I think that's kind of cool.
That's so specific. Who has ever put a freaking mohawk on their dog?
I don't know. But I just feel like that'd be cool.
I feel like you'd put a mohawk on your dog.
No. Maybe. Actually, yeah, possibly.
I don't know.
Painting a dog? Yeah, I wonder if they really know what's happening. They're like, and I'm like, are they like, fuck, I'm pink?
Well, they're colorblind.
Pink?
Aren't they colorblind?
Oh,
Dogs?
yeah.
Are dogs colorblind?
You know, I found out dogs are colorblind in the Cats versus Dogs movie. Let it out, Xolo.
What, is there a punchline about them being
Dogs possess only two types of cones, and they can only discern blue and yellow.
Whoa, my favorite color and Jacob's favorite color.
Yeah.
Minions.
That's pretty cool.
Minions. as
Minion
well.
dogs are like,
Minions.
this shit is awesome.
Dogs love minions. I
No, but
love
in the
minions.
Cats and Dogs movie, the dogs have to like cut the wire.
Oh,
the
red and
wires.
blue.
Oh.
Yeah, he's like, cut the red wire. And he's like, I'm colorblind. I can't tell it. And that's how I found out dogs are
But-
colorblind.
If you're colorblind, is everything just blue?
Whoa, that
Close.
was it.
That was close. You got to get the S's. Sorry. Keep going.
This is going to be a very
Horrible episode.
interesting episode.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, you guys.
Ooh.
But you were saying, sorry.
I was saying that if you're colorblind and you can only see like blue and yellow, can you only see like everything is blue and yellow, or everything that's not actually blue and
It's
yellow
gray.
is just
It's shades
gray?
of gray.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
I'm
From there-
definitely starting to feel this, I have to say.
I totally feel it.
I feel amped.
totally
I'm ready to go.
I didn't think it would be as palpable.
But my eyes feel like.
Right? You can see
Whoa,
everything
whoa,
right
whoa,
now.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. About that. I think you're reading, you're feeling.
Like, dude, I really feel my fucking third eye opening. This is really awesome.
This is what ayahuasca is like.
Dude,
Is-
yeah.
is just
Mercury must
Celsius?
be in retrograde. Like,
Mercury's
it.
in the room. right now.
Dude, I feel,
I
the
feel
energy of
it.
You feel it.
You
You know you
feel
feel
it.
it.
I'm
Yeah,
hating
you
the
feel
direction
it.
that this is going.
Mercury's definitely in Gatorade right
yeah,
now.
you're right. This
Gatorade?
is both too chaotic. I
Chaotic
don't like that
energy.
it's like this either. I
No
feel
matter where you
trapped. I feel
Oh my God.
flanked by
The chaos.
by
is
two.
chaos.
Oh my gosh. Well,
You picked a good mix.
Yeah, this is awesome.
okay, we'll pivot. Okay.
Pivot.
Pivot into serious zone. I was gonna say I was thinking of stuff, and I realized as young actors, we are the three of us are all cursed with baby faces. We will
Yeah.
forever, well, at least I think forever, have a youthful.
Hey, but you can grow a beard, you fucking cheater.
Right.
I can
You-
do it too.
You will. I'm sure you will one
Dude,
day.
this is like 2.5
Nope,
weeks.
nobody.
You
You're
haven't
showing the
shaved
camera,
that?
but the camera is not seeing it. It's okay.
You guys see it.
No, we actually don't have
This
the
is
ability
4K.
to
This is
zoom,
4K. You
so
guys
they
can zoom in
definitely
without
don't
losing
see it.
resolution, right? You can hear it. No.
Okay, wait on. What about this?
Oh, fuck. I can actually hear yours. Damn
Yeah.
it.
Facial hair ASMR.
Oh, well, not Jordan's. Jordan's full.
No,
Jordan has
that's
that.
cheating. I won't even do that to you, Jacob.
No, that's.
He's like, I won't do that to your bride.
Sorry.
But that. How do you? Because Jacob and I have kind of spoke internally about playing kids.
Mhm.
Do you? Have you found that have you played a kid most of, if not all of your life?
Yeah.
What do you
All
think
of.
about that? There's parts of me, sometimes I like getting to tell stories that are youthful. Sometimes I don't want to say go as far as to say resent, but sometimes I don't really like. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
too angsty or too like, it's not actually what teenage life was like for me.
Right.
What do you
Yeah, I think at first it can feel like it feels fulfilling to be in like any role.
Of course,
but
yes.
yeah, like of course.
Of course.
We would love to be casted. If you want me to play 12, I'll play 5. Just like tell me.
How high? Tell me to jump how high.
How high, how low I
Yeah.
can go.
That's what. Here, put the microphone.
It's okay.
Podcast newbie. Okay. So I think I've found lately that sometimes it can just be not fun to be back. Like, I didn't love being in high school. Like, in my head,
Yeah.
not the most fun place to be.
Mhm.
So, like, to tap into that for characters, especially if they're super angsty.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, we gotta relive this shit again.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, right. I feel like I have no friends and nobody likes me. We're back in this for like 6 months. Like,
Damn.
you know?
Time to do. But do you think that inherently, because while I do agree with this, there also is something so important about telling those types of
Oh,
stories.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think we've all kind of, you've definitely played, and you on Baker and the Beauty, like there's definitely been parts that are design or not, I don't want to say designed, but that inherently are highlighting like a space that is not always super you with the cleft lip,
Oh,
Baker and
yeah.
the Beauty with
Yeah.
with being gay or
Happy Pride.
happy pride. Do you like being a kid?
I thought about this and
We
like,
know nothing else.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think, especially like, it's all we've really ever done.
Mhm.
I like doing it because I just like being able to do anything.
Yeah,
Like it's fun to act. But I know that even though it feels kind of like being boxed in right now, I'm gonna grow up at some point.
Mhm.
Like one day I'll grow a beard. And I'll do adult roles then.
Yeah.
So I think as impatient as I am, that's actually something that I don't really trip out about.
So then what type of youthful stuff, because
Bankrupt.
it's a wide array, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
So
I thought you were just asking us
What-
my role.
what are some of your favorite things that you were like, oh shit, this is someone in high school that like, I would have loved to have been. Like for me, it was Dope. When I watched Dope, I was
Oh
like,
my
dang,
God,
these kids
yeah.
are in high school.
This
I
is-
would
Yeah.
have really liked to watch that. Or obviously you have
Or
like
be in
Super
that.
Bad or say it again.
Or like be in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that is, I was like, oh, these kids are teenagers, and it kind of feels like something that maybe is happening around my
similar.
neighborhood, yada, yada, yada. But
The
then there's
screen.
also some examples where I'm like, that was not what my life was like in high school or.
I always struggle with that because I remember when Euphoria first came out, and I never.
Jacob was like, "What?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it was like for me too."
No. I watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes. I forget how many I watched, but I remember watching it and being like, "This is so fucking far fetched. Like this, this is ridiculous."
Yeah.
And but one of my friends, Cooper, he's super into film, and he really liked the hyper realism of it, and that's how he would always describe it.
Wait, hyper realism? What? Like
That's the word he would
Okay.
use. I still don't really know what fucking means.
okay.
vocab.
Yeah, he would just say that all the time. And when he was, there was something in the show where there's either like a book of like a bunch of girls' nudes or like a list of like girls' nudes or something. I don't know. Or
Where are
maybe
we going with this?
well, he was saying that's actually what his school was like. Like his
Yeah.
school was that crazy.
Very scandalous, risque.
Yeah, super scandalous, super risque. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe that is some people's. You know, he went to a very rich high school, so they actually had access to like the crazy drugs and like
Right.
crazy things. And
My mom
But-
says that that's what it was like for her.
My school was like that.
Yeah,
It was like public school, but it was arts kids. So they also had like some of them
Yeah,
were
money.
like came from
money.
money, and or were just super artsy and knew the art drugs. But it was like watching Euphoria. I would text friends that I still talk to from high school and be like, "This reminds me of that party."
Dang,
Not even that
wow.
I went to, but that
just
because I
knew-
wasn't
heard
that cool.
about.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
like I'd
snap.
hear about it, and sometimes the stories they tell, like, "Yeah, this happened here," or they'd be like, "Yeah, he's gone for 6 months. He's like in Sweden doing rehab for like his drug addiction." And I'll be like, "Whoa!" Like I asked him for the answers to the math quiz like 3 weeks ago, and he never got back
my
to me.
math homework. That's crazy.
And was that is it like this kid that you're talking about? Is that? Can you see that, or you're saying, "Whoa, what the heck? I didn't expect that at all." Is this like Mulaney, where you're like, "What the heck, that guy?"
Oh, I
That-
see what you're saying. Yeah, could you see that happening?
Because like in
high
high school, there was a very small, specific crew who was open about their like drug use, or like,
Yeah.
I smoked weed, and they were like, "Oh, they were the cool guys that smoked
Mhm.
weed." And then there were maybe other people around that did it, but it was like hidden, or like
Yeah,
it wasn't. They weren't doing it cool. Going to an art school, because I went to a school that was next to this like downtown
Mhm.
art school.
Mm.
And I remember like I would walk over there after school, and then like kind of like you're saying, all of those kids, like all the kids at that school were the cool
Yeah.
smoke
No.
weed kid.
That's what I was about to say. It was like
Your high school
pretty
was
much
that.
everybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like everybody, not that they all did it, but could seem like people who did it. I'd say the only ones, because it was fully like you had the departments. Like there were the dance people, there were the visual artists.
And you went in for theater?
I went in for theater.
Okay.
my high school was. You were saying like, yeah, my high school is da da da. Not like that at all. Like
But-
no one.
But you were in the burbs. You're like, I feel like burb life is different.
Yeah, I guess that's
Yeah.
true.
True.
You,
Monica, you're like, true.
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 But- because all my friends were still in the burb life. Because I mean, I didn't go to high school with any friends because it was like you audition and
Yeah.
you get it.
Oh,
So all my
that's
friends
right.
were still in the burbs.
the regular high school.
the regular high school,
Oh.
and they'd be like, "Your like peers are fucking crazy."
no, you can. Yeah, go
Oh,
for it.
okay.
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Your peers are fucking
Fudging.
fudging crazy." Like they're forking crazy over there.
Yeah, if I knew you then, I would have been like, what the fuck? They're doing.
Yeah.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So then does
Oh.
that, because I feel like my parents my mom and dad had two kind of thought processes when it came to how to bring up drugs, right?
Oh.
My mom is and was always like straight edge.
Super
She was
open.
the example of like nothing, never. I didn't think it was cool. I think it's lame, all this stuff. And then my dad was like trial by fire. He was like, I did all of these things and you should learn from these mistakes or just these
doing.
lessons, right?
Yeah.
So and being at a high school like that, do you find that there's kind of in your shoes and in your shoes and in my shoes, is there a self-policing? Like I guess just my friends weren't
Doing
this is
that.
kind of a segue into Belissa, you're out in New York now.
New York.
And Jacob and I are, and all three of us actually are born and raised LA. And I feel that there's a really big difference between a New York person
Yeah.
and an LA person. And there's people like I think Oshun will grow up to be a New York person.
I could see
And
it for a
I
Shun.
think I'm a Los Angeles person. And I don't know how to articulate that completely to someone who doesn't understand that. But the way that I'm kind of thinking in my head is I feel like I lean a bit more introvert. The things that I like doing are more inside, whereas I feel like you and really the both of you are
just
a
like,
tad more.
I feel grounded. You guys are
No,
fucking.
not-
You guys-
no. But I'm saying, there's no part of me that New York is like, what's the haps? What's the haps?
Sure.
That New York feels like a what's the haps type of city. And how do you find that out? Because
Well, how
that's
do
a
you go
big
about-
jump.
Yeah.
That's a big jump to just be like, I'm moving out there. You said we were chopping it up. You said you went to college. You started doing some college over in New York. But how do you learn that you're a fucking New York person? That's so scary.
I don't know what he's
No, I'm sorry. I'm so hopped
Chopping
up
it
with
up?
the caffeine.
I'm actually feeling good now.
Chop it up.
Dude, it just made me. You just made me laugh. Sorry.
It's chopped cheese.
Yeah. When did you? When did you? Yeah. I was right. Yeah. Like, so you go to. I'm sorry. That's interesting. I definitely.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, no, I had a moment in New York that made me think like, oh, I could possibly live here. The last time I went, I'm curious. Did you have like a moment in college where you're like, oh, I thrive in this place? Because I know I've had some friends that have moved to New York for a little bit, and they're like, I fucking hate it here. Like, I can't
it's
find a
sink or
friend group.
swim.
I can't function. Like, I'm coming back home.
Yeah. Well, I feel like my first stint out there, I loved it so much, but it truly is a place like where if you don't have a group, you can just drown. Yeah. And in a not fun way. And it's hard. Like when I first went out there, I was 18. It's hard to go search for a group of friends, you know?
So how did you do it? Because I feel like I have and had, I kind of waffle between aspiring to move to New York and just being like, fuck it, I'll just stay here. I like, because my roots are here, it really feels like, oh fuck, I have to
Dig up so
do
much.
everything
Yeah.
all over again.
Yeah.
How does one start to, is it just like, these are the things that I like, so I'll just keep doing those things over here? Do you just jump in the deep end and you're like, I'm putting myself into a situation where I'm going to meet a bunch of people?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
did you already have homies out there?
I had the first time I moved, I didn't. And I think that's why after like a year and a half, I had to move back because it's like I didn't have a core group out there to be there without going to school.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, I definitely had to be ready to make the move back now. But the thing with New York that is so different from LA, half the people that have like come into my life since I've moved there have been by chance. Like first week there, I go into a nail salon by my house, run into someone who I went to high school with who's in the industry now, had
Oh,
not
damn.
seen her.
Whoa.
She dropped
forever.
out our freshman year, always like knew of each other. And now we hang out all the time. She's like a great, it's always good to have people who like are in the industry just to tell you like what it is to know. And then from there, we've had mutual friends. And yeah, like I've made friends with people I work at the coffee shop with. Like that's a core group that I have now. I don't know. I think, and it's not to say people in Los Angeles aren't open to expanding their communities.
What do you think it is? Because I feel like, I'm actually probably like, now
Not
that
as
I'm
open
thinking
to
about
that?
it, I'm like, I actually don't know if I enjoy always meeting new people and like,
Yeah.
I like my.
Yeah, it can be comfortable in the group that you have. And I mean, I definitely miss the group that I have here. It's hard. But I love meeting new people. Like,
Yeah, both. That's what I'm saying. Both of you guys. But Jacob, am I correct in assuming you're not really into New York or not living?
I don't know. I really struggle because I love being outdoors and I would miss climbing, surfing, and like the mountains. That's the biggest thing that is preventing me
Deters you?
from moving
Yeah.
to New York.
But you take a train and you're in Jersey and you're in a hike.
I guess I don't really know a lot about the East Coast, if
Yeah.
I'm being honest. Like the last time I went to New York, I went out with a friend. Like I ran into a friend at the airport.
See, crazy.
Yeah, I ran into a friend at the airport, and he was like, "Hey, I'm going out this one night. You should come." And I'm going here. I'm going there. I was like, "Oh, cool. We'll see." End up going out, meeting other people, met them, go out with them a different night.
Yeah.
Like it was super fun, and I was like, "Oh wow!" Like I
could see this.
like I love doing this. This is really fun.
But that's just party life.
yeah, I get. Yeah,
It's
definitely.
true.
You're
But-
like,
the first night, not the second night. The first night I was pretty sober the whole night. when I
no,
was, like,
I'm not
meeting people
saying
and stuff.
sober. I'm just saying like these events that you're talking about
Oh, are all
are
parties.
like yeah.
yeah. They're all parties. But yeah, I don't know. I struggle with that, like going to a party and be like, oh, da, 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 da. Like it
Yeah.
feels weird to be like, oh, I'm going to a party and like I'm
Well, and I
meeting
think-
other drunk people.
Yeah. I haven't been to that many parties since I've been in New York, honestly. I think something I'm obsessed with New York is there's just so many weird things. Like,
Like what? Rattle off the dome as
Like,
for two
there's-
Angelinos.
oh my God. There's this, and I'm sure there might be things like this in LA. It's just easier. It's more accessible in New
Yeah.
York.
Mhm.
There's like this cafe where you go and they give you a menu, but it's like art things. It's like, okay, you want to do a collage? All right, that's $20. And then they bring you this whole like platter for like all your collage material.
Okay.
There's surprisingly
Oh,
even
that's cool.
Yeah, like even though New York is such a prime party spot,
Mhm.
it's also a prime sober
Creative?
activity spot. Yeah,
Okay.
like there's so much to do in New York that isn't centered around alcohol. And I think that's something I struggled with when in LA that wasn't centered around like doing stuff, like
Yeah.
partying. Because I don't drive. And so,
Mm.
you know, going to the mountains, couldn't take a bus there, RIP. But in New York, it's like I can hop on a train and I can be in a different state in 40 minutes,
Okay.
you know? And you can go from like forest back to city to like suburb to the beach. Like it's kind of, New York's kind of crazy.
Yeah, LA doesn't have if you don't drive, it doesn't have the infrastructure for something.
It
like
doesn't,
that.
which is
It
so
has-
sad.
It takes a long time.
Yeah,
to-
which is another reason I can understand it more. Like if I had a car and could drive, I think it would have been more of like a wait, LA or New York.
Yeah.
But since I don't drive and don't really have any interest in it, I'm like, I've got to do New York.
Gotta do New York.
Got to do New York. I do think everyone should live there for like at least a year of their life.
Okay, what's the prime time to
Yeah, I
move?
do wanna
'Cause
try
I've always
that.
said like if I was gonna do it, it should be now while I have the energy. Or do you think?
Yeah.
But some people say no. You could. It's just whenever you're ready. You could do it anytime.
Well, I think New York is definitely like ageless. Like wherever you
Okay.
could go to like
Different parts are for different times.
yeah, and I think I don't know. I'll be out at like 2 a.m. walking down the street, and there's like a 60-year-old couple, just like
Hang
you know,
out,
like it's so like
make it whatever you want it to be.
yeah.
That's cool.
I think you could make New York like your bitch at whatever age, you know.
Okay. I
Um,
like it. Good.
but-
Yeah,
you
you do the
cosign
art
here
collage
from-
whenever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But summer's a great time to move. But I think like this age, yeah. 20s, I feel like give yourself a year in your 20s in New York.
Okay.
Maybe
do
not
it.
18. Because when I moved at 18, I wasn't
been
ready.
saying it before. You've been saying it.
Yeah, I
Do
know.
it,
I just
do it,
I
do
just
it, do it.
realized, realized I was like, oh, I could possibly do this because I think my biggest thing was like, I don't know if I would like the people out there because
But
most
it's a
of my
metropolis.
but most of my friends that I've made have all been like outdoorsy people. Like would hang out with my friends surfing or hang out
Yeah.
with them climbing or hang out with them on hikes and stuff. And so going to New York every time I'd be like, what the fuck do you do here? Like you go to coffee shops and like bars and stuff.
Hey, don't
like
shit on coffee shops.
Well, no.
All right. I'm
well, and then like now that I'm a very ripe and mature 23-year-old, I like going to coffee shops and playing my Pokemon emulators while they play cool jazz and like
Smooth
reading a
jazz.
book or something.
I play Nicki
You are
Minaj.
a little NPC, bro. This is the problem with child actors is that you're just like, what's on my schedule for today? Pokemon at the coffee shop?
Yes. Yeah.
reading you for filth.
Actually, yeah. What? I was wondering this the other day because I was thinking about this. I was like, dang, I don't know how much I would like to have a 9-to-5 job. I'm sure I could probably do it. But
You've done it
uh,
at the ski,
that was a
The ski.
that
but
was
that
a-
was something that you really enjoyed.
It was something I really enjoyed, and it was also there was no schedule. Like
Oh, okay. It was very
I
loosey
could
goosey.
there was no. I would get a text like if I didn't show up that day, they'd be like, "Yeah, you coming in? We have a bunch of classes."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Oh no, I can't make it." They're like, "All right, we'll just cancel them."
I mean,
Like, there was
freelance is
no-
kind of like that. I feel like freelance, especially when you have a niche, can be like
That
that.
you can
where it's
do,
like
yeah.
you're just on call.
But like every day, I have like in the middle of the day, randomly, I have like things that like I have to do for like work type things.
Okay.
But most of my days are very random.
Okay.
Like, what would you say is like your average day when you're not on set? Like when you're just
Me.
chilling. Yeah. Like, what do you? Or you too? Like, what is your average day?
Right now, my average day is usually I get up around 7 a.m.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, no.
No,
This is
I wake around that time too, but I feel like
this is when I don't open the coffee shop.
Okay.
If I'm
Oh,
opening
dang.
the coffee shop, I'm up at 5.
okay.
Wow.
But opening is good because you're a productive day then.
Yeah,
Right?
and then you see, yes, but I've gotten in the really bad habit of I'm like, okay, cool, just worked a full day. I'm gonna go home, take a nap. I fall asleep,
Oh, yeah.
and then I wake up and it's
Oh,
6
fall
p.m.
asleep.
I have I can't just take a nap.
Oh, okay.
It's so bad.
You go instantly into REM.
Yeah.
Just
And I used to never take naps. Like
Oh.
even on set, I think it was with Blue Beetle that I started napping.
Sorry, now.
I love you're like fuck this shit.
No, I was
how's
like, no, it was filming second unit when it'd be like, we need you the whole day. 6 hours passed.
whole
They're
day.
like, let's bring you in for your first shot. I'm like,
Your face is like all crinkled with the pillow
Literally.
crease.
And that's
You're
where
like,
the comes in. To
Yeah.
shout out for
Yeah.
your false advertisement.
advertising.
Crazy. Dude, I'm still hopping. Not gonna lie.
I'm feeling pretty good now.
That's crazy. I'm feeling woo woo.
I can't do I never have caffeine though.
I have
I feel
caffeine.
so like
I have caffeine every
Well, you're
single day of my
already-
life.
You're already very hippity hoppity. Yeah, there you go.
do the.
I wanted to.
It's so gross. You're like.
You look like a spider.
We were talking in the car. I really like reading nonfiction. Both of you guys, as I understand, really like reading fiction.
Love fiction.
What are your like? Is it a cover at first? Is it like? Do you like for a certain type of genre?
I read the last line of the book.
Oh my gosh! Okay, I think that's so weird. There's people that read the last page.
No, not the last page, just the last
Okay.
line. Just that last sentence.
I'll read. I used to do that, but I'd read the whole last page.
But now you've grown.
No, it like really fucked up a book for me. Where I was like, oh, like the whole thing was like who killed them, and it was like,
Yeah.
and that's why I killed them, and I was like, oh, that kind of sucks.
Damn.
Like, damn.
No, but
So I stopped doing
that's
that.
the
because of that.
excitement is that even when you do know that, seeing how it plays out.
Yeah,
is,
see? I found out who Gossip Girl was before I started watching Gossip Girl.
Oh, okay.
It fueled the show for me. I was like, no way.
But then aren't there so many moments that feel unrealistic? Like I've even heard the guy. Well, I don't know if it's based on a book, the show.
Gossip Girl?
Yeah. Or what do you mean?
I don't know. I just thought of Gossip Girl.
Well, no,
But
I
how
knew
did- how did
I
you
knew he
find out?
was Gossip Girl when I first started watching it too, and there were a lot of moments where I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, but what? How is it
Or like
him?
where he was saying there were scenes that he had to do where he was reacting to things that Gossip Girl did, and he was like, oh. So he's like, even when he was alone in his own
True.
house, so they're like,
Yeah.
that means that he would have some major like,
Yeah. I don't know. So
But-
stuff like that, I think sometimes can mess it up. Honestly, most of
find
the
books
books
now.
I've read are all from recommendations from other people.
Oh, okay.
That's mainly how I read books. And then also I feel like a little kid. I'll just like go through the book, like the bookstore, and just like pick out a book. If I like the cover and I like the title, I'm like, yeah, let's try it.
It's not a bad
Yeah.
way to.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like how I pick out wine. It's the same way how I
Okay.
pick out books,
Wow.
just if it looks cool.
I thought you were going to say something worse.
What?
That's how I pick my women.
Oh.
I just,
Like, if it looked cool and they got a cool name, like,
I
yeah, why
say,
not?
yeah,
You want to get
all right.
coffee?
And
Hey,
you,
what's up,
Belissa,
Zadatha?
Zadatha? That was a really like.
If I met someone named
Game of
Zadatha, I would definitely be like, let's get a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I want to
Game
know
of
your
Thrones.
story. That's
if I met someone, if I met someone,
if I just met someone, I would love to take out
Anybody?
coffee. Anyway, sorry, books. Yeah,
That's
how do you pick
amazing.
out a book?
I also am big on recommendations, but I love a good cover. I look at three things. I look at the cover. I
Yes.
look at the inside book flap, and I read the last line.
Wow.
No, like the little summary.
Got you.
Yeah,
I didn't know people actually read those. I never read those.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. Sometimes those are on the back of the book, right?
yeah.
Maybe.
Like the back inside flap.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I
usually
always
about the
read
author.
that. I have to. Yeah, I have to.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely want to know what the book is about because there's so many books that I just like start and then I'm like, I never get around to. But at least if I can kind of do the weeding part before, if I know at least the concept is interesting, that'll hopefully get me. I can't just be like cover
and do it
alone. No.
I have a really hard time reading those like Blink, Love Does, Atomic Habits. Those
like informational
I have
books.
such a hard time reading
those
those.
are my
like,
favorite. I mean, I
philosophical.
only really
like this is how I do this and this and that.
I
To me,
fucking love that.
I don't know. To me, it's like all the things they talk about. They're just like I wake up early and I make my bed. And like I do
Really?
these little
maybe-
things,
maybe
and I'm like,
we're-
no fucking yeah. They teach you to do that in the military. Like,
Nah,
Do you make? Have you been in the military? Do you
no, I
make your
haven't.
bed?
My dad like just grilled that into me as a little kid.
he
He'd be
does
like,
make his bed.
"I
You do make your
my
bed?
Do you
I
make
try
your
to
bed?
make my bed. Yeah.
My parents
You
would
try to
actually get mad
like
at
you
me.
try. What do you? How hard do you try? There's a lot of things that I
There
try to do.
is
as
no
well.
Hey.
try. You don't make your bed. You make it once a week. Yeah.
4 times a week.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
And-
I don't really
and I
sleep
just, like,
crazy. I kind of just have like a triangle.
It depends.
Really?
Sometimes I just have a triangle. Sometimes I don't know where my blanket is.
Most of the time, I wake up with my blanket on the floor.
What?
Yeah.
I used to wake up under the bed.
Okay,
What?
That's
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I think you're sleeping like It's like scooting under the bed.
My mom told me that I would she would wake up and I would wake up and I'd be under the bunk bed like that, and I'd just be like, I did it again.
Oh my
The
god.
heck?
I
Yeah,
also
no.
used to punch people.
You're like,
your
yeah,
sleep.
and that's how I found out I had schizophrenia. True story.
There was a time where I had a loft bed where it was just like a
Whoa.
raised bed. That could not happen on the loft bed.
No.
If I slept, crawled out of my bed, I'd be like, oh.
I
you ever-
always wanted to sleep on the top bunk. I was
Oh,
never
really?
allowed.
No.
Have you ever fallen out of bed?
No.
Yes.
You're like all the time. I've done it a couple times.
No.
It sucks because you wake up, you're like, what the?
Yeah.
That's the worst.
It's interesting though. I remember as a baby, like having my own little bed, but there being guardrails. I do
Yeah.
remember. I can visualize
The
guardrails. Yeah. I'm one of the very few people. Well, actually, no. You're very public about your love for the Minions, but
So
it's
public.
palpable. Just hanging out with you
I
over the
love
course
the
of
Minions.
2.5 months filming a
What?
movie, I knew
boy.
I knew
Papa
that
boy.
she loved the Minions.
Like what? The
The
one thing
Do
I
you
remember
guys
from the
have-
Minions movie is when
Is that where we're bringing it back?
Well, no. I just love this part. I think it's the first one where they're like looking for something. They just pan up to a portrait of the Queen of England, and he just goes, cucaracha. That was like,
Despicable Me.
it's like my favorite thing, and that's the only thing I remember in that movie. I thought that was the funniest thing ever.
My favorite, that was the Minions movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Minions movie.
That's like
and
where they're
there's Minions
cavemen
Rise
and,
of
like-
Gru.
Yeah,
The history of Minions.
Yeah.
Such a good film. Not movie. It's film.
It's what a great,
cinema.
what a great
Okay.
picture.
But I love Bob is my favorite one. And I love how he has his little bear and he's like, oh no, and then it's a rat and he's like, Poochie.
Which one is
What's
that? That's
Poochie?
the first Minions.
That's the first Minions.
Okay.
Minions.
And then we actually saw the second Minions together.
Yes, we did. And I dressed up, remember?
Yeah. And that's what I'm
Is
saying.
that the one where they show their butts a lot?
Yes.
They always show their butts.
That actually was my favorite part of the movie.
Uh,
I wasn't really the biggest fan, but okay, let me.
Bring it home.
I didn't want to bring up the Minions. I shouldn't have even said that.
You started with like,
Minions.
Jacob and Belissa, we love advocating for people to get their knowledge up on the pod. It's something that I'm creating as a law right now.
oh, okay. I was
It's
like,
not
yeah,
something
we
that
do
we've
that.
established.
We
Yeah.
do that all the time.
Wait.
Jacob, what is the one book that if you could describe, this is what my personality is kind of like, or this is what my vibe is like in a book, what would it
Oh.
be like, and what would it be like
I
for
can
you, Belissa?
only think of joke ones.
right?
I can only think of.
You've never read a book that you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I connect with this book so well.
I have one that I read. It's my favorite book. It's like 120 something pages. It's really short, but it's really depressing.
Okay.
And it's like I think I really resonated with it because it's like my worst fear.
Okay.
Whoa.
I wish I could remember the author's name, but it's called Bleachers, and it's about this high school football prodigy. His football team is like undefeated for multiple years. They always win the championship, and he goes to college and like breaks up with the love of his life to like get with like the hot girl. Goes to college to like a super good school. Halfway through his first freshman year season, he's like totally going to get to the NFL. He gets tackled in late tackle to the knee, completely busts up his leg, and he walks with a limp for the rest of his life and can never play football again. And his coach, Eddie Rake, who's like this legendary coach who he had a really, really troubled relationship with, dies. And he has to go back to Messina. They're the Messina Spartans. He has to go back to Messina to attend his funeral and see everyone from his past. And it's just like a really sad, because it's like this guy who's on top of the world and then going back and being like this super kind of small shell of himself, meeting back with like some old friends. And there's like really good memories there, but they're all just like, they're just all tainted with such sadness because he made so many mistakes when he was young.
Okay.
And like, you can't really fault him for it because he's so young.
Yeah.
But like, he has a really, really sad conversation with like the girl who was the love of his life, and like with his best friend. And it was just, I don't know. It felt like I read it my freshman year of high school, and it felt like just a very real book to me.
Okay.
I was like, wow, this is scary. But good.
Yeah. So I feel like there's like two parts. Like one side of me is like, oh, this describes my personality. It's called Haunted by Chad Palahniuk.
Okay.
Palahniuk. He
Okay.
wrote Fight Club.
Oh, I was going to say,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's this insane, you both would hate it. This insane, disgusting horror book. It's about these writers who go on a retreat and then they get locked in this like old abandoned theater for like 3 months. No food, no
Damn.
anything. And what they resort to, and it's all about, they're like, oh, we can like make this experience even more horrific for us because then we get out and we sell our story and it'll be like the biggest movie. So then they just start like killing each other off because they're like, if another person dies, even more of a sob story, less people to split the money with. And they're like, this would be way more tragic. Like, let's cut off all our fingers and like,
Oh shit.
it's crazy. And then you're just reading. It's just so descriptive and like off-putting. Personality.
All right.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Go for it. Or there's this other one, very quickly, collection of short stories, Her Body and Other Parties. I believe it's
I've heard of
by
this book.
Carmen Maria Machado, I think. I think that's the name. And so good.
Okay.
Genre bending, very genre blending.
Do you like a genre bending book?
I do. I love it.
What two genres are you're like, that's good.
You know I love my horror.
Okay.
But I love anything like magical realism with comedy.
Okay.
Yeah. Like combining those two.
I don't know if I don't read a lot of fiction, but I don't know if I've read a lot of
I love fantasy novels. It's like
Fantasy
my favorite thing to
novels.
read.
Yeah.
I said that about you. I'm glad that I
Yeah.
know you, dog.
So you're a big fan of Twilight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've not read Twilight. no.
Okay.
Yeah,
My
you
sister
have.
read them.
No, you read Twilight.
I didn't read them. I never did, not once. I'm trying to think of the last fantasy thing I read. The Shadow of What Was Lost. It's by James something. He's an Australian dude.
James Marsden.
I wish. That would have been cool. Mr. Dreamy. It's really good. It's not a huge book, but the first like prologue chapter is probably one of the best prologues I've ever read in my life. It's so
Whoa.
fucking cool.
I have to admit, sometimes I skip the introduction of the books.
Whoa.
Sometimes I want to get straight to the sauce.
Well, no, I almost always do. But this one, I like read the first line of it and was like, this seems pretty cool. And then as I was reading it, I was just like so immersed in it, was picturing everything perfect. You know, when you get that in a book, it's like you're reading it and like you're picturing it perfectly. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I'll read a book and as I'm reading it, I will stray off in a thought, but I'll keep reading.
Oh.
and then I'll like be 2 pages in. I'm like, I have no fucking clue what
No
happened. I
clue
was
what
just
just
like,
happened. Yeah.
yeah, that's how I know if I'm really into a book or not. If like that doesn't really happen that much.
Yeah.
What's the book that
Kinda
describes
sounds
you?
like ADHD.
I don't have it. I've been tested so many times.
What is the book that
You feel like describes you?
I remember as a youth? I
R.
really
L.
liked
Stein.
the book. Yeah.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Ramona Beavis.
I really liked this book, Flight, growing up by Sherman Alexie.
Sherman Alexie's great.
I honestly can't really remember a ton about it now, but I remember
should
in
remember
the moment being
feeling
like,
like-
whoa, it actually got me excited about reading again at a time that I was like, I don't really fuck with reading for pleasure. And that book, I was like, so I suppose of the fiction, that must be the genre that I like. It's about this guy who gets into this predicament where he gets accidentally shot, and then he reincarnates instantly into like another human, like an adult human, and he realizes like, oh shit, and he goes through all of these
Lives.
different lives.
He keeps getting shot.
Well, sometimes
You just
No,
keep
that's
finding it. They're like,
genuine.
oh shit. Fuck.
well, yeah, I think
You're like, oh my god, another liquor store robbery. Fuck.
Yeah, right. He's just causing havoc. But I remember really enjoying that one. And then recently, just nonfiction books that I've really been enjoying. We spoke about it, All About Love by Bell Hooks.
Love
I
that
really
book.
loved that one. That was great. The Four Agreements, I
Great book,
enjoy.
yeah.
And then I was telling you about it, but the Celestian Prophecy. I
Oh yeah, I just got it.
Um,
I gave it to my mom to read first. But
You were like, let me know how this is.
you know how this is,
yeah,
Mom.
I was like,
I hope
read
she,
this.
I hope she likes it.
Have you ever heard
Um,
of On Earth or yeah? I think it's On Earth. On Earth, We're Briefly Beautiful
No.
No, that sounds
by
gorgeous.
Ocean Byung. I think that's how you pronounce his name. That book is the first book I read that was like people would always say, oh, the prose in this is so. Da-da-da." That's the first time I've been like, that's cool prose. Like
Really?
prose is like the way in which they use their
They use their-
words. Like yeah, it's really awesome. Super great book. Highly recommend.
Well, there you go. And lastly, just really quick before we wrap up, the team favorite books and why?
Cow.
Oh shit.
Pachow.
Nonfiction. That's the one where it's real, right?
Not yes.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I used to get into like those 40 Laws of Power, Mastery, those kind of things.
Okay.
But I would never finish them because I would start reading. I'd be like, I already got this, you know?
So true. Because it
I'm
taught
already
you
on
to
my
get
road.
it.
So I would
and
like
then it was
give
like,
it to my friends. I'd be like, read this book. And then honestly, like I wouldn't really even finish reading it.
Oh, that's
but fiction is kind of like a cheat because I spent like a few years editing audiobooks. So I would get to like listen and edit and get paid to like consume
Yeah.
these books. And one of my favorite ones recently was like On the Come Up by Angie Thomas,
Ooh.
who Angie Thomas wrote the Hate You Gave,
Ooh.
which became a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I liked it because On the Come Up is in like the same universe
Okay.
Oh
of
wow.
that, you know. So Monica's
What about you,
Googling
Monica?
Barnes and Nobles.
Damn.
She's on the best New York Times book from
Yeah, she's
last
like,
year.
I really like that.
Damn.
I read.
I went through this weird like poetry phase.
That's not weird. Are you
Oh.
kidding me? What poetry books did you read?
I
Tell me.
read a lot of R.M. Drake or Robert M. Drake.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just a lot of like little anthology. Every single page is a different poem.
I'm gonna
So
check them out.
I did a lot of things about that.
If there's one
Yeah.
manga I would recommend to you that I think you would like, you should read Tokyo Ghoul.
Tokyo Ghoul.
It's very good.
It's
I
horror.
Is it?
It's like on the horror side of manga, and not like super, but
It's graphic.
it's super graphic and it's really good.
So
I will drop kick.
I don't
You
know.
stop
We're
now.
not going to talk spoilers, but Belissa and I just had the opportunity to watch our first cut
Yeah.
of Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Now,
snip.
now I was super excited to see it. Really, really antsy. It's been over a year since we started.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, you started in April, huh?
yeah, and almost 2 years since I booked it.
Oh,
So
yeah. huh?
It's been a kind
long
of
time.
a long time. It's been always this long thing in the future, and now it's
That's crazy. I can still totally picture you at the top of the stairs coming out of your room
Oh.
and me and Joe being on the couch and you're like, I got it.
Yeah.
And we were like, what?
yeah, crazy.
That's wild.
And I just chatting a little bit about this was the first time. I don't know. I'd never really had an experience like this before. I felt so personally invested.
Yeah.
That it was a bit like it was a very interesting sensation that I was having watching the movie.
But have you guys been in like a huge movie before? Like, what is it like seeing yourself? Because I haven't been like on a huge screen in a movie that you know is going to be this blockbuster. Like, what does that feel like?
There you go.
Not really. I mean, I did Hocus Pocus, but that was like I got to see it on a movie screen, but it was released on streaming, so it wasn't that big.
Yeah, this is going to be in theaters.
This is
huge.
international.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be freaking huge. Not
gonna
to
be a
scare you
big
more,
deal.
Sholo. I'm scared too.
No,
We're scared
it's-
together.
I think, I'm very fortunate that, like, after watching it, we spent so many days, like, it took so long to make.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it almost was like, yo, seeing Angel, the director, work on it for over a year, every single day, and then to just have it kind of be done in 2 hours, or,
Right?
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap, that was all of that work.
Yeah.
Just boom, right there. But I gotta say, yo, the CGI, I was flipping out. The CGI looks
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
The pacing feels awesome.
Yeah.
The soundtrack, we were bumping, and it was also really cool to watch it. It was like a friends and fam crew showing, so we were screaming.
That's cool.
And
That was really funny. We were like shouting in that theater.
Yeah. So one word reflection.
one word reflection.
Blue.
On the movie or on this podcast?
Experience. of
Both,
the movie.
actually.
Experience of the movie?
Better be different fucking words.
No, I'm
Okay,
kidding.
Beetle for
Experience of the
Blue
movie.
Beetle.
Experience of the movie. Groundbreaking.
Oh.
Groundbreaking.
Okay, now what
Say
about the
that?
podcast?
Mid.
Oh.
No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Say it one more time. How do you feel about it?
Icons. Kings.
Love
And
it.
Queen.
Wrap us out, Jacob.
Wrap us out.
Oh, I never get to do this. Thank you guys so much. We have an Instagram. It's Lone Lobos. We have a email. It's hello@lonelobos.com. We have a phone number. It is 516-99-LOBOS, right? No?
Oh.
510.
510. Why do I always think it's a 6?
There's some sixes in there.
I know. 510-99-LOBOS. I don't know what the other numbers are. If you can't figure that out, you shouldn't be calling us. Oh, but if you do call us, you consent to have your voice on the podcast. Our YouTube is official Lone Lobos. We don't have a TikTok. We're figuring it out. We don't have a Twitter because I don't really like Twitter. And our Instagram is
whack now.
our
Twitter, yeah,
Instagram
Twitter.
is low. I've always hated Twitter though. I'm just gonna be for real. I didn't hop on the I hate Elon Musk bandwagon.
BFFR.
Yeah, come
Be
on.
fucking for real.
What else? Yeah.
Instagram.
Instagram is Lone Lobos.
Mhm.
Check
Yep.
it out. God, I'm still feeling this.
And we do have a TikTok. The TikTok
We do have a TikTok.
Lone Lobos podcast.
Lone
We got
Lobos
it.
podcast.
We just made it.
on the. I fucking got that
We
shit.
got it back.
Zoom in.
It's-
Zoom in.
Yo, you got that Spidey sense right now, dog.
Come on, give it to me. This is why they don't give me caffeine because I turn into a fucking superhero. Turn into a monster.
With a bad bitch that come from Sri Lanka. Yeah, with the
happening?
tonka color of Willy Wonka.
We're
Wait,
ready.
wait.
We're ready. Wait. We don't want to spoil it. We don't spoil it. Okay, one half us, Jacob.
I
1/3 us.
I am one half of your
Third.
I'm 1/3 of your super salubrious host, Jacob Scott Bertrand.
And I am the less salubrious, more interesting, spectacular host, Xolo Maridueña, joined by our special guest.
Woo! That's me, Belissa Escobedo.
Yeah, thanks for. And
Wait, can I do it in my monster voice?
Of course, yeah.
Belissa Escobedo.
Oh,
And the team with their monster voices.
making Monica do it.
I don't have a monster voice.
Yes, you do.
do.
Yeah, you
Everybody
do.
has a monster voice.
It's your boy Jim Kim. I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
Wait,
Scary, little
I don't know.
scary.
Go
I-
for him. Come on, Monica, bring it home. Don't
I hate
disappoint
Come
me.
on, Monica. Let's go.
I'm scared.
Thank
I'm
you.
terrified.
All right. We will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for joining this week's
I won't.
episode. Happy Pride Month. And also, it was my birthday. So happy birthday in the
Happy
future, Xolo.
birthday.
Future Sholo, happy
Oh,
birthday!
Future birthday, happy birthday. All right, we'll see you guys
Happy
week.
birthday.
This episode of Lone Lobos is a Lone Lobos production, produced by Monica Tamayo and JMKM, with intro music by Nicholas Gray. Like what you hear? Check us out on Instagram at Lone Lobos.
Do you know the end of Anaconda, the laugh that Nicki Minaj does? He love this fat ass. That
Yeah.
I would love all of us
To try it.
to do it with a straight face.
Oh.
Here we go. Who's gonna start it? Jacob, ready?
I start.
It's about embarrassing yourself sometimes,
Okay,
Jacob.
Don't
It's
just say
okay.
that he loved the fat ass part too.
I would love it, but you don't have to. You
Okay,
could ju-
okay,
if you
okay.
want to just do the chuckle, you can just do the chuckle. I'd accept
Okay,
it.
okay.
Straight face. We want to see your face.
Straight face. Okay, okay.
Down the barrel.
Yeah. This is my camera, right? Yeah.
Yep.
He loved that fat ass.
Thank you. I'm so glad that one day we'll be like 70 or 80 and I'll be able to look back at this.
Oh my
All
God.
of
My
this
grandson's
will be
going to
on
be
you.
like, yes, grandfather is so prestigious and nice. His friends will be like, what do you mean? He's an idiot. All right, go. He loved this fat ass.
Wait, his lips not moving.
He said this is Nicki
Well, that's
Minaj
why I
from
wanted-
Minnesota.
That's
Oh,
what I
straight
wanted.
face.
Straight face. No face movement. Like you're what do you call that? Like,
Hold on.
right,
yeah, like a
go.
ventriloquist.
Ready?
No.
Go.
Okay. He loved this fat ass.
There we go. Perfect. All right, team. You guys can do it at the same time.
Oh, same time, in sync.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Ready?
Oh,
Wait,
with
wait,
a
I want to watch.
face?
I wanna watch.
Straight
Straight
face.
face.
Oh shit!
Straight face as in.
Like you can't move your mouth.
I can't.
I'll just lip sync to you.
No, you have to say it too.
No lips.
Yeah, it's like a little uncomfortable.
He's not on. As you can see, he's not in the camera. You see that emptiness?
It's a little
Okay, ready?
a little
Ready?
too close.
Go. Just get over it.
You have to sing it.
Okay, ready?
He,
Ready?
3,
3,
2, 1.
He loves this fat ass.
You're a really good ventriloquist.
I love it. Well, thank you guys.
I approve.
Yo, team, drop the beat.
Yo.
All right.
We're about to do Nicki Ocean.
Y'all haven't heard another trio murder some Nicki bars. Millie, don't come for no Nicki bars. Stranger Things cast, don't come for no Nicki bars. We're coming for you. You ready? Bobble, is that you? Pull up in that monster automobile gangster with a bad bitch that came from Sri Lanka. Yeah, I'm in that Tonka, color of Willy Wonka. You could be the queen, but watch the king conquer. First things first, I eat your brains. Then I'ma start rocking gold teeth and fangs. Cause that's what the motherfucking monster do. Dressed up from Milan, that's the monster shrew. Real just up in the band, that's the monster shoe. The Bubba does the sun, that's the monster crew. And I pull up in the bank with a funny face. And if I'm fake, I don't notice cause my money ain't.
So let me get this straight. Wait, I'm the rookie, but my features and my shows 10 times your pay. 50K for a verse, no album out. Yeah, my money's so tall that my Bobby's gotta climb it. Hotter than a Middle Eastern climate. If it says he's done, dirty whine it. Nicki on them titties when I sign it. All these so one-track minded. But really, I don't give an F-U-C-K. Forget Bobby, fuck Nicki cause she's fake. I'm on a diet, but my pocket's eating cheesecake. And I say, pride as Chucky is child's play. Just get another career, it's a mild day. Besides, they can't stand besides me. With me, you and Nicki Minaj Friday. I said,
Pink wig, thick ass, give him whiplash. I think big make cash big ass. Now look at what you just saw.
this is what you live for. I'm a motherfucking monster.
We killed it.
Period.
Oh, yeah.
I love Nicki Minaj.
Nicki would be proud. You just heard this song.
I was like, wait, what's this?